morning, YouTube. Alright, this is take 2. You know, the network's been pretty slow lately, at least a couple of days, so this is a second take. So as the title states, Hump Day Wednesday. Now, Hump Day Wednesday, or Hump Day rather, is quite different when you're a regular W-2 employee and an independent contractor. When you're an independent contractor, you know, Hump Day could be a day of rest. Hump Day could be a day that you take off. Hump Day is a day where you evaluate where you are in the halfway mark during the week. Because most of these gig economy jobs, you get paid weekly. Wednesday is also payday. That's when you usually get your direct deposit. At least I got my direct deposit today with Instacart. But if I was working, say, with the other gig jobs, Wednesday is usually the day of payday. Now, I know some people say that I get paid every day because I do daily pay. You know, I'm not messing with daily pay. You know, because number one, it's not like I need my money like, ooh, I need my money today. For what? You know? If you make money weekly and getting your money, you know, depending on who you work for, you know, sometimes you get your money on Tuesday. But pretty much, let me see, I think you get paid Wednesdays with Instacart, Uber, and practically most of the apps. If you get paid on Tuesday, then, you know, fine. And very rarely do I see anybody get paid on a Thursday. Now, I know with Postmates, they say they pay you every 4 days. Which to me, I don't trust that. Because when I got paid with Postmates, in that situation with tips, you know how they were stealing to tips. I already made that comment about that, you know, so, I don't know, like I said, if you budget your money correctly, I could wait, because number one, if you get paid weekly, I mean, and this is your only source of income, or if your only source of income is from all the other gigs and you put them all together, I don't see why would I want to do a daily pay to take out, you know, to get my money like, oh, I can get it that day, you know, that you can get it that day. I don't know about that. I know some people make videos, but I don't have to pay somebody $1 or whatever the fee is to get my money transferred over to my bank account, you know. So let me tell you, I always believe a lot of these companies, now I can say a lot, but like daily pay, I believe that, you know, they'll get nice and comfortable. They'll get nice and comfortable with trying to establish a clientele of signing people up, and then they'll turn around and they're gonna say, okay, the fee now is $5, you know, or they'll stipulate some rules with, depending on who you work with, they may say, well, you can't get your daily pay, the tip portion of it, or you can't get this, or you have to reach this threshold, you know, or, you know, all kinds of things could happen with that daily pay. And another thing I don't want to do, I checked out daily pay, not for getting my money early. I checked out daily pay because I look at the bottom of the those websites, and I look at careers, because I said, you know, because all those companies, you know, if you look at careers, they have positions that they'll hire people for. And I looked at all of them, you know, Shopify and all those startups, and the main thing they be looking for unfortunately, is anyone dealing with software development or front end or full development or something dealing with websites. So it seems to me that the wave of the job market is anybody in those type of industries. You know, the more and more I just keep, I don't know, I'm trying to be patient with this dang SunTrust. I really am. And I hate to call my friend and say, well, what's going on, What are they doing? I hope I didn't get, he didn't just interview me just to interview me and then say, let me just go ahead and give this girl an interview, and so you could stop calling me or bothering me. I hope he didn't do that. I hope that was not the case. I hope that's not the case. Because if you truly are hiring, and I keep getting these emails, oh, SunTrust have openings, many positions, and I don't know. And to me, I just think that I would at least heard something back within a few days. Now I know it's only been a week and 1 day out, but I'm not gonna let it discourage me. I'm not gonna let it bother me or anything else. Because I still have other options and I have other things to explore, and you always have to have a plan B. So plan B is going on the website and applying for the public school system. Right before school starts, I may want to look into applying for positions like substitute teaching or paraprofessional, or not so much take the test to be a teacher, but I can do it. That is a great demand for a job, or career rather, because I'm tired of, I don't want to look for a job. I want a career. I need something that I don't have to be focused on. I need to be a manager. I want to move up in the company. Nope. I just need someone with a good retirement plan, pension, or possibly pension, retirement plan, benefits, and a decent wage, so I can still go ahead and supplement my income with these gig economies to take care of my ultimate goal, which is to pay down my mortgage and pay down these student loans and these debts. So I have a lot of things I need to explore. See, one thing about if I went to the education system or work for a public government sector, like the state, or working as a teacher, they have those student loan forgiveness programs where if you take a job as a teacher or work in the school system, they'll pay X amount of dollars if your student loans off or whatever. It's a trade-off. And I'm still looking into doing my online business, I'm still looking into doing that, because you have to have multiple streams of income. And so far, working for Instacart, and I don't work no other app for now. I mean, I could do Uber, but like I said, that's gonna cost me more money in the long run, because if I drove for Uber, picking up people and then trying to do Instacart, that's a lot of money coming out, a lot of gas and too much wear and tear in your car. You know, I know I gotta replace my brakes soon enough, and buy me a brand new tire, because one of these tires are low, but they were saying, you know, the other 3 tires are pretty good, so I need to rotate these tires pretty soon and do an oil change. So it's like, you know, I could drive Uber and all that stuff, but I'm like, you know, like I said, I can't tolerate any more people in my car. And 2, I'm not willing to go all over Atlanta. I'm not going downtown. I'm not going to the airport. I'm not doing none of that. If I do Uber people, it's going to be around the neighborhood. You know, I'm saying, And like I said, that may be limited, you know. Because if I'm only willing to just travel and say, okay, let me go ahead and maybe pick people up and down Stone Mountain or 78, I'm not going to get a lot of pings. You know, you get a couple pings here and there, but it ain't gonna be too frequent. And I don't really think it's frequent now, to be honest. You know, I don't know how. I haven't heard too many people make videos about Uber and making money. You know, even Terry Tips, you know, he's making very frequent videos. You know, a lot of times, the only person who's making videos all the time is that entrepreneur guy, Kevin, out there in Sacramento, California. I don't know if he lives in Sacramento. Well, anyway, the entrepreneur, he makes videos every day because he makes it like reporting the news. So, I know he's shown that he's been driving or whatever. I haven't seen all of the videos, but I know he was, you know, he says, I drove Uber last night or something. But, you know, I'm not, you know, like I said, I'm not willing to drive at night, people at night. And because of that, I don't really work another app. Now, like I said, I'm gonna go to the Uber office sometime this week and have them put me back with Uber Eats again. Yeah, we are actively looking for a shift. Yeah, but then earlier you sent me a message talking about, can I start my shift early? For what? See, let me tell you, Instacart, when they need you, they're like, can you start early? Can you stay late? Can you take this order when you are getting off at 4 o'clock? Yesterday, I was scheduled to get off at 4 o'clock so I could go to the gym, work out up the street, you know, and then go about my business and do what I have to do. So I get an order at 3:40 or 3:45. We know your shift is over, and if you don't take this order, it won't count against your it won't count against you. But if you do this order, it's scheduled to be completed and delivered by 3:45, and that's supposed to start again at 4 o'clock. And the only reason why I took it was because it was like 20-something item, and the delivery fee was $10. So I said, okay, well, I could at least $14 or something like that, or whatever it was. But you know, so that's why. And then the person lived around the corner from the Publix, but she was a bitch because she was the one that was telling me or saying, when I told about the service fee and this and that or whatever, and in lieu of a tip, you think you deserve a tip? You know, bitch, fuck you. And the next time somebody say something stupid like that, I'm gonna say yes, considering that you didn't have to leave your house and sit in the hot sun in a car and tug all these groceries to your door. Shoot. But you know what? I was not really in the mood to even say anything smart. So I said, you know what? I just chalk it off. Because you know what? For every smart aleck person that I come across, that wants to be picky, you know. And another thing she was doing, she had her husband was there, and he was like, he couldn't talk. He was like, I don't know what he had. I don't know. I'm not trying to make fun of people with disabilities. Or he couldn't talk and he was mumbling. He was like, look, she got you the mayonnaise. It was a Publix brand mayonnaise. You asked for 14 ounces. That's what you got. 14 ounces is exactly what 14 ounces look like. She looking like somebody gave her the wrong size mayonnaise when your stupid ass ordered it. And then she was like, well, this time they got the beefsteak tomatoes. But the last time somebody must have left it, so she claims. And so I know she gave me a 4. People just trying to be fucking evil. Fuck y'all. Y'all, you know what? I wouldn't want to take a tip for somebody who got a bad spirit. Bad spirit and omen. That's why your dumb ass live in a damn apartment. And then whoever was in the background, why is the door open? I could tell that was probably a house of special needs people. But just because you got a disability, trust me, you can still be an asshole. Shoot, I don't discriminate. I do not discriminate. You could be a jackass just the same. Because what I don't do is I don't pity people. I'm like, oh, this person is in a wheelchair. Oh, this person, Nope. If you're an ass, you're an ass. That doesn't take away from the fact that, somebody provides a service that you couldn't do. There was nothing wrong with that lady. She could have got in her damn car or whatever and went to that Publix right up the street and got those same groceries. People be tripping. People be tripping. They acting like, because I didn't have to take that order, and trust me, Instacart probably had nobody else to take it, because I already saw one girl in the Publix. I bumped into a couple weeks ago. She saw me on my YouTube channel. She was up in there doing an order. And then I saw this one girl I always see all the time. She works for Ship. So it's not like it's been extremely busy. But I'm gonna tell you, when it gets in the evening time, or when it's extremely hot, a lot of people ain't got time to be sitting around waiting around for orders in zones, especially if it's not a guarantee. And let me tell you, Instacart think they slick. See, I got a lot of hours this week, right? But I could assure you, come Saturday and Sunday, they're gonna try to give all the orders to me, because they're not gonna pay out a guarantee and give you X amount of dollars. See, a lot of people, they have to understand that. Don't become running around in these zones thinking that, well, I'm gonna get at least I get the guarantee. Let me tell you, they're gonna do it in such a way where either one, you're gonna either sit out and wait, and you may not get no orders, but if you the least hours you got, and the more of a guarantee they got to pay you depending on where you are, that's how they're gonna do it. They know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. If there's 10 people, say there's 20 people working in their zone, and they all working in the guarantee zone, they know how much money they look at all the hours that people work. So if there's 20 people in the zone, and say there's and each person has 200 20 hours. So the total hours are 400 hours at $10 minimum. That's $4,000. So that's $4,000 that they have to pay for those 20 people who work, say, an average of 20 hours a week. And I'm saying everybody works the same number of hours, or 20 hours a week. But you know darn well darn well that they probably already have it set where so many people's gonna work so many hours. They only got so many people that's gonna work so many hours in a certain zone. So if they do that, they already know that they already know who they're gonna give the turtle to. Oh, we got enough people as we expected. We don't need that many people as we thought we needed, or whatever the case may be. So if they don't need people as they expected, they give you the turtle. And if they give you the turtle, which means it's a slow, and they don't, and they ask you, would you like to leave early without penalty, then somebody's gonna take it. Somebody's gonna take it, because who's gonna stay and make no money? Because you're taking a chance by sitting there for those hours. You're taking a good chance of saying, I'm going to get orders during the week. So if you manage to weigh it out, you're really stuck, because you can't do other gigs unless you're gonna be stuck in that zone. You may be stuck in that zone and say, okay, you know what? Well, let me go ahead and see. Maybe I could do Uber. But then if somebody's taking you out that zone and taking you out that area, Instacart sees that you're out the area. They says, oh, you're not in the area. They may log you off or whatever, because what's chances of people going anywhere local? You gotta have to rush. You're gonna have to rush and hurry up and stay in that area, or hope you stay in that zone. So that doesn't really work. And then besides, depending on what area you're in, how many people really take Uber or Lyft in certain zones? Now, if they're gonna do Swanee and Cumming, you may have to go all the way closer to Alpharetta, and that part of Alpharetta, or somewhere, and somebody wants to be taken somewhere, and you're going to be out the zone. Because Milton and Alpharetta is very close. Well, it's not that close, but you're not going to really be in the same, you're not going to be able to stay in the zone. Now, let's talk about food deliveries. Now, food deliveries, you may do DoorDash or some other food delivery and say, okay, let me go ahead and do food delivery. That may work, but you're gonna still make sure that you stay in a certain zone or a certain area. But that may not work, because depending on what the time of the day, unless you do lunchtime, you may get a couple of orders, but you ain't gonna get a lot, because that area is not that popular when it comes to deliveries of food, especially during lunchtime. It ain't that many office buildings around there, and there's very few, because I did it a couple of times when I was doing that, and I didn't get a lot of orders. And I was doing Uber Eats, and I was almost out the zone, because there's a section in Duluth that's not in the zone. So that's not really going to work if you're waiting around for orders at Instacart and you're trying to do another app. So so in all cases, it doesn't really work. Some people, I'm gonna do double apps. I'm gonna turn my app on at the same time, and I'm gonna do food orders for Grubhub and Uber Eats. Only way how you're gonna do that, and if you're gonna be in a high populated area, you're going to mess yourself up, because you're going to have one order, and then you're going to take another order, and then you're going to try to deliver, and then you end up driving way more miles just to deliver $8, just to get $8. And that's if it's a short distance. You may get $5, and you may be going 2 different places, but you're going in 2 opposite directions, which would have taken you a short period of time to drive if you had just did that one, versus trying to do a double batch for 2 different companies. Nope, that ain't gonna work. Unless you turn off one app, deliver the other food to the other, turn Uber Eats back on, pick up that order to Uber Eats, drop that off, and then if you get another order from the other company, you turn off Uber Eats. That's just too much. That's too much. That's why I'm saying that all these companies, whether you work Instacart, Uber Eats, Lyft, DoorDash, Postmates, on a good day, the averages is all the same, $10 to $12. It averages all the same amount of money. That's it. If you do 60 hours, and I'm just giving this example, if I did 60 hours with Instacart, and I say, okay, I'm gonna do 60 hours, I may get about, and even if they give you, let's not even talk about the guarantee. Let's not even mention the guarantee. Let's take the guarantee out of it for all of them, because the only one who gives a guarantee is Grubhub and Instacart, and that's it. I think some of these other companies, if they're offering a promotion, it's a promotion for a short period of time, for a certain block of time. So, but taking all those factors out, and you just working straight up 60 hours a week, and you do one app, you say, I'm gonna do 60 hours a week and see how much money I'm gonna make average. You're gonna make the same amount of money. You're gonna make about $600, $625, or whatever, minimum, maybe, with all those apps. They all average $12 an hour. So, that's how it's gonna get. That's exactly how it all calculates when you look at which one pays them out the most money. A lot of people love this. A lot of people say, oh, DoorDash pays the most because I guess maybe people supposed to, you don't even know if every customer even tips, because you don't even know until the end of your block how much money you made in tips, how much you made in the driver fee. So you don't even know who tipped or who didn't. And I think that they also have it planned out too. They'll give you a mixture. They know how much that person tipped when they gave that order out to you. They're gonna say, okay, we need this is a quick. Anytime you get quick deliveries, in my opinion, with DoorDash, ooh, it's busy, and you get, and you may get 3 orders an hour, and they pay $5 for delivery. That's $15. Damn, at the end of your block, you say, ooh, I made $45. I made $55. But if you did 5 deliveries, 6 deliveries, that's 30, and you figure 4 or 5 of those people is going to give you what, $3 or something like that. Yeah, it's going to look pretty good, but you don't know how frequently or who's giving a tip or what the orders are. If it's a pretty good restaurant, not no fast food either, but I'm talking about like a Longhorn or some medium-sized restaurant, and the average lunch costs $10, $12, and it's lunch. Or let's say it's even dinner. If the average dinner is about $40 and you go into a very good sized restaurant, or is a pretty sized order at a pub, or something, you don't get an average tip of $4. But if it's one of these little cheap ass fast food places, most likely you ain't gonna get no tip. Ain't nobody gonna tip you to go to McDonald's. I'm sorry. If they that cheap to go to McDonald's and they just so happen to have no car, unless they're really nice, you may get a good tip if you pick up from McDonald's. But to be honest with you, it ain't a whole lot of money. Ain't a whole lot. You get the same amount of pay regardless. It's all a matter of what you want to tolerate to do. Do you want to tolerate and pick up groceries and go shopping, and where you walking and picking up groceries and you dropping things off? What's this big old line? That must be my business. So that's how it is. You have to look at it in all factors. But in all factors or another, is how much time is being spent. Instacart pays a little bit more because when you think about it, if it's a good size order and you take out the tips factor out of it, and you're not even thinking about the tip, and the tip is extra, then you can make about $15 for delivery. Yeah, $15. $12 to $15, and that's if the delivery fee is $10. But if you go into that other zones, Atlanta, $5. Who the hell wanted $5? $6 maybe. And then Atlanta and OTP, if anybody's in Atlanta, they have, if you in that Sandy Springs area, you getting a lot of deliveries. It's delivery only. That means an in-store shopper shops the groceries, bags the groceries, tags it, and then the driver comes, scan the bags, and you deliver the food or the groceries to the person. So most of the time, you only getting paid $4.50 for the delivery, but you could be delivering 10 bags of groceries. My friend Nina, she's works the OTP because she lives in Tucker, and she has a regular job during the day as a contractor doing software development. So she makes some pretty good money. So she does Instacart just for a little play money, and she works from 5 p.m. to about 10. Then she's getting burnt out because they keep sending her to Sandy Springs and giving her the orders to do delivery only, and she's doing deliveries for like 3-4 people at a time, and all she's doing is picking up the bags and going to the houses and dropping off the groceries. And and then she works on the weekends. So she do a food shop maybe during the weekend, and then most of the things she's doing is deliveries only in Sandy Springs. Now, she's been making some good money in tips, just delivering only. She'll get some tips from people. Even though you get only $4.50 for the delivery, you also get the could get tips for those only deliveries. But if you're doing, okay, asshole, you just jump on out. People, y'all, they get on my fucking nerves. You didn't even look. He just, see, that's why I don't be driving fast like bad as hell. Because half the time you got to be really alert. Because these dumbass people can't, they just jump on out, don't look, no nothing. So anyway, so she knows that, okay, I'm going to go to the Publix on Roswell Road, and she's the cleanup person. Because she'll go there, and If you just open the refrigerator, just go there. If you work Instacart and you in Atlanta, or if you work Instacart and you in an area that's full service, meaning it's delivery only, meaning you go to the place, go to the store, Whole Food or Publix or whomever, and just go there and just open the refrigerator. Ain't nothing wrong with opening the refrigerator. Ain't nobody said you're not allowed to open the refrigerator. I mean, you wear your little lanyard thing or whatever, or your little Instacart t-shirt, which I don't wear because it's too goddamn thick and hot. Who's gonna wear that thick ass t-shirt in 98-degree weather in Atlanta? So I wear a nice thin whatever, that's it. I'm not wearing no thick t-shirt. But anyways, I'm going off topic. So what you do is you go to the store that you know that has delivery and you open the refrigerator. If you see a whole bunch of bags in that refrigerator, stay there. Don't go nowhere else. They stay right up there at Publix or Whole Food and wait to get an order, and then you will see you'll be getting all those bags. You know? So if you're getting like 3 delivery onlys, you say, well, dang, that's only $4.50 or $5 or whatever they pay at that time. Then you know it's gonna be what, $5. You know, you may get $20 if you picking up 4 deliveries. So, because Instacart will do that, you'll be getting 3 orders or 2 or whatever. But if you're getting a lot of deliveries, all you're doing is going there, picking up the bag, dropping them off in each of the locations, going back to the other store and clean up. So you could actually do about, if you do 10, if say you manage to get 10 deliveries only, and they paying $5, and that's $50, and you do that in say 2 hours or whatever, and then you're one of those people who so happen to be fortunate that they tip you, then you know, you could make some good money. And you don't have to be a full service shop and say, oh, I gotta do a full service shop, because you may not get tipped. Because I already told you, you know, yesterday I got one $20 tip out of out of 4 people. I only got a tip once. Now I had a delayed tip that came in earlier from the previous week. I had a delayed tip that came in from either Friday or Saturday. So you may not always get tipped. You may not always get tipped with Instacart. But like I said, if I do 20 deliveries and I get to the 20, I may get tipped about 5-6 people. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and look. I'm gonna go back and look at my previous pay histories, and I'm gonna look and see how many times I got tipped. But I know last week was sucked. Last week sucked. I've never gotten, you know, if I count that delayed tip from the other day, and let me see, 10, 20, $40, I think. I'm gonna round up to $40. For me to make only $40 in tips from last week, and I'm counting the $10 delayed tip that I already included in this batch, and the $10 tip total that I got from a couple of people. You know, 38. Yeah, 40, 50, 40-something dollars in tips. That's terrible, because I always get an average of $120 tip, and that's on the app. $100 tip, 110, 120. And then if I count, you know, not even counting the little cash tips, you know. So on a good day, look at it, everybody still can't get out the car. The get that dang breakfast. I hope that dang Chick-fil-A breakfast ain't over with, because I'm going to be mad. Let me hurry up. We ain't got no more breakfast. I'm going right over here and get my, I'm going to be mad if they ran out of breakfast. Oh, what time is it? 9:58. Let's see if it's gonna be busy today. I better not get no dang turtle today, cause I'm gonna hang out and bear it. I get off at 4 o'clock. I take a break at 4. All right, y'all. Let me go ahead and get my little chicken biscuit. Hopefully, they still serving breakfast. It's supposed to be I sworn they said 10:30. I don't. I could sit here and wait. Morning. See, you know Chick-fil-A care about their employees. At least this franchise location. They got people out here working, taking orders at the drive-thru with the iPad. And then they all got these hats on to protect themselves from the sun. It's amazing. White folks love to be sitting out in the sun. I need a tan. If they laying out on the beach. But then if they working regular, I don't know. You know, black folks, you know, we ain't be sitting out in no damn sun. Good morning. Look at all these dried up flowers. It's so hot, flowers can't even get no water. Oh, Lord.
Okay, thank you. Hello, welcome.
Hey.
Good morning.
Good morning. You know, I be so much hanging out at the Publix across the street and hanging out at Chick-fil-A. Shoot. They probably know who I am. Alright, let me place this order. Alright, I'm back. I swear I'm gonna turn into a Chick-fil-A biscuit. I eat so much Chick-fil-A, it's ridiculous. But it tastes so damn good. I know one thing. When Chick-fil-A came to New York, I think they was in Manhattan. Those people it was the rave in New York with Chick-fil-A. I would love to own a Chick-fil-A franchise. And Chick-fil-A franchise is so interesting.
All your food is complete. Yes, I'm gonna pay. Thank you.
Their model is so interesting, as I read before. You know how you had to have millions and millions of dollars to get a franchise at McDonald's? With Chick-fil-A, I read somewhere that you could get a Chick-fil-A franchise for like $50,000, $60,000 or something. And I know it's something like that. It's almost like it's not even $1 million. It's less than that. And somehow or another, they have it where I don't know. I can't remember, but I know I read it. It was so interesting. Okay. But it's real cheap to get it. It's real cheap to get it. Just how the way how the franchisee and Chick-fil-A and the franchisor have an agreement with. It's like they almost kind of help you get into business. But it's not hard. Well, put it this way. I ain't gonna say it's easy, but it's not as expensive. Put it that way. And Chick-fil-A is nowhere close to expansion of growing. Like, I mean, you'll never be a McDonald's. Nobody could never be like McDonald's. But if you really wanted to go into a franchise with Chick-fil-A, and what I found with a lot of people who has a Chick-fil-A business, because occasionally you may come across the operator, the owner-operator. It's like groups of people going together. And you can make some good money. You can really make some good money with Chick-fil-A. I'm telling you. I know one thing. I'm curious to look into it, because if you open up a Chick-fil-A somewhere and you like that only Chick-fil-A in the area, you could make a killing. You could make a killing. But I think so many people probably just don't realize what opportunities are available. You know? Because it's not like they be advertising like, oh, Chick-fil-A business, gonna come get a Chick-fil-A franchise. You have to do your own research, inquire about it, look into it, and say, you know what, I want to do a Chick-fil-A franchise, and you'd be surprised. I'm gonna go online. I'm gonna look for it because I really want to know. I wouldn't mind doing I wouldn't mind being a Chick-fil-A only franchise. My mother asked me that the other day when I was telling her I was doing Instacart and doing food deliveries and stuff like that, and she asked me, was there a franchise available in that? I said no, and I explained to her how, you know, I didn't really go in detail because sometimes my mother, you can't go beyond talking about something. She ain't interested. She was like, okay, I got it, you know, and kind of brush you off real fast, you know. So she just asked a question. She asked a question and answer it, and that's it. All the explanation she don't really too much care for. So, but I know, I think that's one thing. I think as people of color, black folks in particular, we tend to not really expand ourselves and look into other opportunities because we think that either one is unattainable, two, oh, I ain't got no money, I'm broke, I ain't got no money, I'm gonna wait, or three, sometimes we think that if it doesn't work out in a month or 2 months, we give up easily and say, oh, I give up, it ain't work, I got my money back, what I spent on it, and that's it, you know. And sometimes you have to educate yourself further in opportunities, you know. And I think that it lacks, and you can see it in a lot of, you know, when you go to a lot of businesses. You know, when I go to the predominantly black neighborhoods, And first of all, a lot of times it's not even black owned. It's always these Asian, Indian, people from all these other countries open up restaurants, and it don't even be no elaborate establishment. You know, when they first come here, immigrants, when they first come here in this country, they go to the hood, they go into the most
Over here,
thank you.
Take this.
Yes, they go to the
All of
most
it. Would you like to refill?
this is water, not yet. Thank you. See, they go into neighborhoods, and this is when people, they just come off the boat. I don't know, well, put it this way, they just first come to this country. They don't live in no elaborate apartments. They don't live in no, expensive looking homes. They live in very low price, low income areas where a lot of their people live. Because, they tell the word, they spread the word. Oh, I live in the United States, and I live in this, in Georgia, and I live in this neighborhood, and they all live in the same neighborhood. Think about it. In Stone Mountain, up there in Clarkston, and I start seeing certain neighborhoods, even when I'm driving around Swanee and Buford. It's like a whole bunch of Indian people. I don't know what part of India they from, but they be all walking up and down the dang street with their robes and whatever they call them. And they be walking all the time. I was like, well, god dang, this is show a lot of Indian people, or a whole lot of certain ethnic groups. They all live in the same community. Koreans, Mexicans, everybody. They all live in the same neighborhoods or sections. Because what they do is they go back and they tell their people back in their country, and they work at McDonald's. I seen so many dang Mexicans and people working at McDonald's. At one point, I used to never see no Mexicans working at McDonald's. Hardly ever. Now, I see them all over the place. And then, like I said, and we may be telling that joke and laughing about it, like 10 Mexicans, like that Spike Lee movie back in the day. And they used to tell about those Mexicans, about 10 in the car, 15 in the room, and, meter, this and that. And they would say those little jokes, and then it's like, and we laugh about that. But if 10 people in a car, and darn well you ain't never seen no 10, you ain't never seen no 10 people in no car, but that was like an exaggeration. But come on, think about it. They all live together, they all pool their money together, because they don't have no money to go to no banks. They can't go to Bank of America, SunTrust, and coming straight from this country and open a business and ask for a business loan. So what they do, they minimize their living arrangements. They minimize their situation, and they bring the mama live there, the grandmother, the kids, and the cousins, and the mama, baby, and this and that. And everybody live in the same house. Everybody live in the same apartment. And they just pool their money together. It'll be like four guys living in an apartment. Somebody sleeping on the couch. Someone sleeping on the air mattress. Somebody sleeping on whatever. And then when they go out there to the neighborhoods, doing lawn, cutting grass. I even see a lot of Mexican women, when I drive around, they have their little car and they're a cleaning service, cleaning these white folks' house up here in Swanee and all these rich people houses. They ain't working for no agency. They working for themselves, and they sit up in there, and then, white folks says, hey Maria, oh here's so-and-so, Mexican Consuela, oh go ahead, and they don't say nothing. They may say something in Spanish, or may say something, but they just keep on going, and they saving their money, stacking their money. And then next thing you know, they bringing their other family members over, and then they pull their money together, and they opening up banks. Korean people do that. You see so many banks. And you ain't just subject to going to Buford Highway in this section of Buford Highway. They all live in Johns Creek. They live in all parts of Atlanta, and it's like a community of Koreans, and they own shopping centers of food and grocery stores, and they have their own bank. They have their own bank. You know, it ain't that hard to get no bank. You know, I'm not saying it's not hard to get a bank, but you know, think about it. Black folks back in the 50s, you know, before segregation, you know, we too easy focus on wanting to integrate. Oh, let's integrate. Oh, let's go ahead and come, you know, I want this. No, equal rights. I believe in, you know, everybody be equal rights. You don't have to be subject yourself to police brutality. You ain't got to subject yourself illegally. But the minute you start, the minute you start wanting other white folks in particular to accept you, and I want to get into this school, no. Why don't you just build up your own schools? HBCU, you know, black colleges, Howard could compete just as much with Harvard. You know, they could compete. Meharry could compete just as much with Johns Hopkins. You know, Florida A&M could compete just as much with Georgia Tech. But we as black folks, we were so focused on wanting to integrate with what white folks get and what we do, rather than building our own infrastructure. You don't see Asian, Mexican, and other people from other countries wanting to get what white folks got. They said, They formed their own communities. They formed their own businesses, and within their own little communities. And they make just as much money. I seen it, and I did those tax returns, and I used to see those tax returns, and I see, you know, those Hispanic, Mexican people. Shit, those people was making like 6 figures cutting grass, making $90,000, and all of that was Schedule C income. I ain't seen that one W-2. All that was businesses that they owned and did for themselves. You know, you go back and look at the Asian community and how they, you know, came up and strived. They did the same thing. They all lived in the same house. They all did, you know, somewhat menial jobs that what we saw as menial jobs. They opened up a little restaurant in the most rinkety-dink of places. And where they gonna go? They gonna go in the ghetto. They gonna go in the black neighborhoods, buy a restaurant where it's real cheap. There may be some hole in the wall place, and they up there establish a restaurant. And who goes there to eat? We do. I need number 1 chicken fried rice with chicken wings, you know, $8, $9. Then it went up to even as high as $14. That's why I left that Chinese restaurant that day. I was like, what? You want $14? Man, please. I went brought my butt home, right back home. But I started looking and I started observing, and it's been like that for years. You know? And next thing you know, they are one of the most highly, you know, in the Consensus Bureau, you know, they one of the most growing sector. They was like, oh, the Hispanic race is going to outnumber the black folks. But they outnumbering black folks more than numbers. They outnumbering black folks in economic empowerment, money, business. And how they did it, they didn't try to integrate and try to get into white folks' world. You know, they said, okay, you know what? Let's go live in the same house. Let's all save our money. And we're going to open up a business, construction business. We're going to do a lawn care business. You know, Asian people. Oh, okay, let's go ahead and do a restaurant and open up in a cheap place in the ghetto somewhere in the black neighborhood. We ain't paying that much money in rent. And then we expand from that, and then we open up another business, and then we go ahead and buy this whole entire shopping lot or whatever. And they stay within their own neighborhoods, they stay within their own communities, and they build them up, fix them up. You know, they got a couple of white, you know, they got a couple of Asian people. They, you know, they may move to some areas of white folk neighborhoods or whatever. But I could tell you, that's probably the next generation of people who may have done that. You know, they may have done that. You know, but in regards to trying to wait for acceptance, and I ain't gonna say acceptance because I don't think people be like, oh, white man, oh, accept me, oh, white man, let me give me this job, oh, give me, no, you start your own niche. Black folks in here, you look at the history of African American history, and you know, Black Wall Street, you know, Auburn Avenue, they said they were striving black businesses in downtown Atlanta. You know, the biggest black owned bank, Carver Bank, and you know, Cascade, and you know, I mean, the AU Center. I mean, it was striving neighborhoods. You know, people with, you know, the black folks had the best of the best, the striving church. You know, they stayed within those confines of their own neighborhoods and grew financially, economically. But the minute they was like, we want what white folks want. We know, I don't want to be a separate bathroom. I don't want separate schools, you know. But rather than focusing on building and fixing up those schools themselves, you wanted what white folks had, you know, because you thought that you was gonna get equal rights. Come on. I don't want to be equal if I'm gonna be. If I wouldn't rather be equal if it means losing your own soul. You know, integration was not the best thing for black folks. It wasn't. Other races didn't want to integrate. They came here, and they may not have come here on slaves. They may not have came here on as slaves. They didn't come here on chains. They may have came on other ways, and that may have some factor to it of discrimination. But let me tell you, so I don't care. I had an argument with somebody about this before. I said modern slavery still exists. Every single race of people has been enslaved or killed in the Jewish people killed in genocide. And people always like to compare, not as much as black folks. We got, 400 years of slavery. I mean, come on. Everybody was enslaved. The Jews were enslaved. People in Egypt was enslaved. Way before the birth of Christ, slavery existed. You know? So please stop saying who got worse treatment than who. Because when it's all said and done, it's what you did with that adversity or counted. And like I said, black people were free. Slavery slavery ended or whatever.
All you needed to do was
the minute you start entering into white folks' territory, you feel that you're infringing on their rights. That's when the problems began. Rather than focusing on ourselves, focusing on the things we needed to do. Not marching up and down the street talking about some damn stupid ass Confederate flag. Oh no, we don't need that. No, you're worried about the wrong thing. See, anytime you come out to people and you're infringing on their rights or they feel threatened, they're gonna resist. So rather than doing that, build up your own institutions like the Jews. Jewish people, you didn't see them worry about what the Catholics did or Protestants did, and you know, you go to Emory University area, North Drew Hills, those are mostly Jewish neighborhoods. Not around Emory, but I mean like right over that area. There are a whole section of neighborhoods that's Jewish. And they have, you know, and they have stores and supermarkets and everything else. You know, Yeshiva University, you know, hospitals. They built their own thing for their own people. They didn't worry about, but they weren't trying to worry about Catholics and other the Germans accepting them. They were trying to destroy. Yeah, they were trying to. The Germans trying to destroy the Jews. And Hitler wanted to destroy the Jews and exterminate them, but he didn't want to just exterminate Jews. He also wanted to do anyone that was gay, lesbian, Catholic. You know, they want to destroy people as a world dominance. And let me tell you, the reason why they did that was because they felt that they was a threat. You know, they said, oh no, they taking over German values and whatever and this and that. And, you know, they felt threatened. Because the minute you get outside of your element and you get outside, you know, people gonna feel threatened. They're gonna get pushed back. You know? Where you start challenging other people's values and challenging other people's thoughts, and you know, and you taking over things that they feel threatened, they're gonna do that. So, you know what? Rather than focus on integration and trying to, you know, kumbaya, let's all come together and this, you know, build up your own communities, build up your own resources, you know, build up your own, have your own things. And then if they want to come by and patronize your business or learn about your culture, or white folks or whomever wants to come and say, oh, let's go ahead and try, let's go ahead and eat, you know, that's all they're gonna do. They're gonna come up there and spend their money. Let them spend their money for a change on black businesses, because let them be a visitor, and let them be a visitor and pay, and then let them go about their business. Boom. You know, yo, we so focused on trying to move into certain neighborhoods and, oh, I can live here too. I got a right to live here too. If they don't want me, I don't go no place where nobody don't want me. Why the hell I'm gonna go somewhere if they don't want me? Why would I do that? That don't make any sense. I'm not gonna go somewhere and not be wanted, because they're not gonna accept you. So what do? You stay where you at. You build up, you know, you build up your own wealth. You build up your own neighborhoods. You build up your own schools. You know, they could look just as nice as white folks' neighborhoods or people who got money. You know, I live in Stone Mountain where I live. You know, the main reason why I didn't want to live in certain neighborhoods, I said, no, I don't want to live in an all-white neighborhood or certain part of neighborhoods, because one, I'm not going to stay somewhere and feel uncomfortable, and I'm not going to go somewhere where it's not welcoming and anything that I could enjoy and do for myself. No, I'm not gonna do that. That didn't make any sense to me. And at the same time, I'm not gonna sit here and put myself in a whole black neighborhood either, where people don't seem to care, and and you have to always fight for things, and you the only one talking, and every time you say something, people look at you like you're crazy, or people want to sit back and live in squalor and pity and don't care, you know. My mother moved out the Bronx because, you know, the neighborhood changed. You know, people, you know, we were right across the street from the projects, Eastchester Gardens projects. That area, and when back in the, you know, when my mother bought that house, it was quiet. People kept their house clean, you know. Now it was like, throughout the years, I saw the news a couple of times. I need national news talking about, oh, Eastchester Gardens in the Bronx. They just round up the gang members in the projects, and they cleaned up that neighborhood and threw those gang members out, and people, I mean, all kind of crazy stuff. People running around at the projects, shooting at people and stuff, and I'm like, My mother said that those people didn't even care. People just drag their garbage and just throw it out on the street, across the street. They didn't care. You know, my mother always be, you know, people, you know, they didn't give a damn. Because, see, they ain't had no owner. They didn't know what it means to own a home. They didn't know what home ownership meant. So they want to keep the neighborhood looking all crazy and trashy and stuff. You know, didn't care. No kind of care in the world. It's only so much you could take. It's only so much you could do. You know, people had homeowners, you know, they had meetings and stuff of straightening the problems and things like that. And then, you know, and if you didn't want to have a certain group of people in the neighborhood, shoot, no wonder. People may, you know, they ain't discriminating against people. If you said nope, they don't want certain elements, no. You don't want to destroy your way of life over trifling people. Nope. Not one iota, not one bit. So, you know, so be it. But that's my little soapbox for the day. So it's Hump Day Wednesday. I haven't got any orders yet. I don't know why the hell Instacart talking about, can you start early? Start early for what? It was 10 o'clock I was supposed to start. They wanted me to start at 9. Start at 9 o'clock to do what? I ain't see no orders coming yet. And they better not run that crap 3:30. Can you take an order? Because I'm finishing at 4. And going to the gym. And then I'm going to work out. I already got my workout clothes on too. See? I already got my little workout clothes. And then I'm going to come back on and finish the rest of the shift at 10 o'clock. And then, like I tell you, come 9, there ain't no orders coming in. But alright, who's out here? Let me see. I ain't seen nobody show me, made no comments. Tell me who you are, the 3 people that's listening. I'm drinking water. I'm not drinking tea today. Now, I can't say I'm not going to drink tea later on. But, they give me a little dinner mint. I'm going to eat dinner mint after breakfast. I'm going to eat it anyway. There's a lot of older people that work at Chick-fil-A here. And a lot of young people that work at this Chick-fil-A. Now these people look like they look like they were in high school. Man, it's right, they were in high school. Because they be talking and stuff like, yeah, dude. And they just working during the summer. Let me tell you. If Chick-fil-A was in New York when I was going to school, in high school, I wouldn't mind working at Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A employees, when you go to Chick-fil-A, they seem so happy and relaxed and I don't know. There's something different about Chick-fil-A people who works here. And not just this particular one. I mean, all the Chick-fil-A's. You know, yeah, they be busy at times, you know. But they don't seem stressed compared to other fast food restaurants. You know? Like the other day, like a few months ago, I was at the Captain D's. And it was 2 people working. The guy in the back who was doing the frying the fish and cooking, and the girl who was the cashier. And she was doing the front, regular cashier in the front, and doing the driveway at the same time. I was like, how are you doing both drive-through and the counter? She said about somebody walked out and quit. I'm like, God damn, really? And they just seem, you know, I don't know. It's like, I mean, I know I like Captain D's, but I'm surprised they still around. Because every time I go to a Captain D's, I say, ooh, I feel like I want some fish. There's always like 2 people working, 2, 3 the most. And 3 is a lot. And they always, you know, I know they take longer to make their orders because they make their stuff to as is when you're there. But they just don't seem happy go jolly. And let me see, I don't eat at Burger King no more, so that's, and Popeyes, oof. You know, Popeyes kind of what happened to Popeyes? Popeyes got bought out by somebody. Burger King? Popeyes got bought out by somebody. I just can't remember. Popeyes is no longer Popeyes that's owned at the one in Louisiana. And it's been bought out by someone else. If anybody could Google it, they could, you know, leave a comment and a message. But everybody at these most fast food restaurants seem miserable. They seem like they overworked. And let's not talk about McDonald's. Because they could act like, you know, they be like, oh. And they always get stuff wrong. But I already told you the reason why. Because a lot of Mexicans and stuff start working at McDonald's. Every time I go to McDonald's and I ask for a sandwich, I've always got to bring it back. Gave me the wrong order. You know? Let me see my Fitbit. Is it fully charged yet? Oh, Lord. I'm so ready to go. It's a shame to be ready to go home, and it's only 10:40. They may give me the turtle today, but it's so stupid because I really can't go home because I have a block to start at from 5 to 10. So I can't leave early just to go up the street and go to the gym. I might as well just stay on the clock and see if I get an order. I'll probably get something before this morning is up. I'll get something. I'll see. I might just have to check my dang it. Try to put this phone against the water cup so I don't keep holding this phone in my hand. And you know, some damn thief stole my selfie stick a few months ago. And I was at the Whole Foods picking up some deliveries. Oh, Lord. I know I could get orders at this Chick-fil-A, so I don't know why I'm not getting no orders yet. See, look at what I'm talking about. See what I'm talking about? Happy-go-lucky Chick-fil-A people. They're going straight outside to take orders on the keypad for the drive-thru. And they walking out there with their little soda and drinks. Okay, let me go ahead, you know. No kind of issues. You go to that damn McDonald's, or, you know, it was mostly black folks going out there, they would have been like, girl, it's hot, I can't stay out here all day.
they would have been complaining, because I know I would have been the one complaining. If I had to tell them, if they tell me I had to go outside with a keypad in the hot sun, taking some fast food orders, I'd be like, what's wrong with these people? They can't get inside. Ain't nobody inside in the line. I would have been like, But for some reason, like I said, Chick-fil-A, the employees are just as happy-go-lucky, happy. This old lady right here, boy, she be on top of stuff. You finish eating? You like a dinner mint? And a refresher drink? Man, please go to McDonald's. You barely get that kind of service. See, McDonald's used to be really good with service at one time, I think. But lately, in the last few years, and then McDonald's got the nerve to go up in their price. A Big Mac, fries, and a drink. Don't get a supersized fry and a drink. They be wanting almost $7 and some change. I'm like, really, McDonald's? $7? And then if you go to New York and you order fast food, ooh, that's a, man, you almost spending $12. It's the price in New York for food versus in the South. It is ridiculous. I was like, they had a Chick-fil-A in New York, in Manhattan somewhere, and I went in there and I looked at their price. I was like, really? I was like, no, thank you. I said I could eat Chick-fil-A anytime when I go back to Atlanta. And better yet, when I go to New York, I don't even eat fast food. When I go to New York, I go to a pizza parlor, get me one little slice of pizza, cheese pizza. You know, that one you can fold up and eat. Ooh, those so delicious. Ugh. Man, my mother moving out of South Carolina Friday is the closing date. She finally selling that house, and she gonna get her little $380,000 check and put it towards the mortgage on the new house here in South Carolina, and keep the proceeds of the difference. Oh. I remember my mother bought that house in New York in the Bronx. It was $139,000. That house sold for $380,000, and that's good. Could you imagine if we had lived in Brooklyn and all those brownstones or something, and wanted to sell it? It would have been $1 million easily. I don't think it's $1 million in Bed-Stuy, not in Brooklyn, unless you wanted those. Unless you was in that downtown Brooklyn, it may be almost $1 million. No, the brownstones and the only reason why it'd be $1 million is because it'll be a two-family house. It's like two apartments in one house or something like that. Or those brownstones, you know, that may be $1 million, because it's not like a single-family home. It's usually a triplex, you know, like it's 3 people live in the house. Somebody lives upstairs, somebody lives in the middle, and then somebody has like a basement apartment. So usually those will go like $1 million in the brownstones in New York easily. And then it also depends on the area. But for $380,000 in New York in the Bronx, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So, alright, this thing been going on for like 83 minutes. I know y'all probably tired of listening to talking, and I know I ain't gonna get too many people viewing this video. So, I'm just gonna sit here and wait. And then after that, I'm gonna try to hang in here and wait until it's time for me to get off. Somewhere around 3:30, about 3:30 or so, I'm gonna make my way to the gym. Right after that LA Fitness. I would go to LA Fitness right now, but shoot, the way I Instacart, you know, any minute I'll get an order. But I hate that. Every time I try to say, "Oh, let me go to the gym," and and then I don't go, then I end up sitting here for like 2-3 hours. Then I could have said, "Man, I could have went to the gym and worked out and did everything I had to do." But then if I went to the gym, then somebody's gonna ping me, you gotta order, you know. It's so unpredictable with this Instacart at times, you know. Like I said, yesterday, let me tell you what happened yesterday. Yesterday, if you saw my other video yesterday, that afternoon, no, between 2 and 3 o'clock, I got an order, and I was supposed to get off at 3 o'clock and go to the gym. And I got an order at the last minute. They said, well, you want to take the order? I took it. And then I ended up missing my hour break that I took among, you know, I took an hour break so I could go to the gym, work out, or do something, you know. Missed that. And then I went to the other, then when my 4 o'clock break started, I had a double batch order, and I already had left early. I already planned on leaving early at 8 o'clock. I didn't stay till 10 last night. I stayed until 8. But I ended up making up that hour time because I ended up working an extra hour that I didn't take. So it kind of worked out in a way that I had gained an hour, but I had gave back 2 hours. So I ended up gaining that 1 hour back anyway. And I'm telling you, I was up in the sticks, and the person lived inside of a forest. No road, no paved street, no nothing. I said, ma'am, I'm in front of something. It says I'm here. I see a white car in the yard. My car ain't white, it's black. You can't see my house. It stands away from the street. It ain't just simply stand away from the street with nothing there. It was like a forest. No street. You ain't see no paved street, no dirt street, no nothing. But you had to drive into it. I said, ma'am, I'm not driving into it. I said, I'm not messing up my car driving into no unpaved road that I can't even see. I come to you. She started laughing. I'll come to you. I'm going to drive with my car, and you could do it like that. Yeah, hell yeah, we're going to do it like that. I mean, ooh, let me tell you, just because you go out to these, I won't even say suburbs, you start going to some of these little small towns where they just start building up. There's a lot of places that a lot of people live that has not been developed. People have lived in these areas for years and years, generation after generation, and they'll be living behind the woods. And because nobody has yet bought that property and nobody got no place to live, people will actually live in some of these houses that you would never know is there. And I was like, man, you need to put a marker or something in front, you know. I mean, if you, God forbid, if something happened to you, the fire department, the police department, nobody couldn't find you where you live. Who lives in an unmarked street? She talking about the developing across the street. They're not even developing anything. All I saw was they cleared out their whole trees, and they just start putting the little sewage pipes or the sewage things. When they first start developing, the very first thing they put is they do the sewage, you know. And they put in all the underground water systems and whatever else they need to put. She lived across the street from that, and it was nothing but trees. You couldn't see not a single nothing in that house. Now, I said, ma'am, all I see is a dirt road. I don't see nothing. I couldn't see anything. I said, I see a white car, but I don't see nothing else. Oh, you can't see my house. It stays off the, I mean, it was ridiculous. Sometimes I wish I had me a GoPro or something just to show something. I gotta get one of those for real. I gotta get one of those because if you live in rural, even if you live in the city, I really need that. I need to have that for my own protection because you can't be just driving up in anybody's places because some of these places be very unsafe. Now, can you imagine it was night? If it was dark at nighttime, trust me, those groceries would have gone right back to Publix. And I would have to call on the phone to Happiness Team, and I would have told her, can you contact the customer or do something. Luckily for me, it was during the day, and I was able to find her. But where she lived, it was impossible. Impossible. Oh, Lord. This is ridiculous. Let me see. I need to go to the bathroom. See, now it's in between lunch now, so they starting to serve lunch. I may eat lunch with Chick-fil-A again, too. I'm gonna have to do something different. I'm tired of eating chicken sandwiches. I'm gonna have to eat some of these salads or something. But I just love those dang wafer fries. Oh, Lord, I'm so ready to go. I'm surprised Instacart didn't give me the turtle. Let me see this map. Let me see real quick.
So I kicked you in the ankle really hard, it hurt.
Okay, y'all, I'm back. You know what? I'm gonna end this stream because I know ain't nobody gonna look at this for 91 minutes. But anyway, so let me end the stream. Let me look at some other people's videos, see what they talking about. All right, talk to y'all later. Bye.